With kinetic magic, I should be able to clear the base of the Loom Gate.
Nice work, Bryn. We should have enough space to work on fixing that pipe now.
Darters. Sneaky, toxic beasts.
Use your frost. They're vulnerable and can't hide when cold. That's the edge of how far I can push the scribe. It'd be like in the Veil's shadow all over again.
The patch is ready, and I've cleared the debris at the loom gate in Glintwood Hollow.
Excellent work, Bryn. Time for you to take a well-earned rest while the band heads into the Hollow.
You sure you don't need me to come?
We've got this, and you need the break.
All right, if you say so.
Bryn, one would think you've been fighting massive constructs your entire life.
It's a newer hobby I've picked up, on account of only having seen one for the first time recently.
Yes, it's quite something to see a massive Archon after studying their role in history for so long.
You seem a little concerned about something.
Oh, no. That Arcs are still functioning in the Enclave is a revelatory discovery. I'm elated, of course.
Very convincing.
It's just, this Archon brings up more questions than it answers. For starters, Arcs of this variety tended to carry a slate bar to help break rocks. It was clearly working in the nearby mine. One must wonder whether its tool was lost in a cave-in? It's hard to say, really. Another mystery, there's no record of Archon hostility towards Weavers. Did they turn on their creators after the Surge?
Is this just about the Arcs?
It's about everything. I suspect we're chasing dead ends. None of these leads fill me with any sort of confidence.
Truthfully, I've been having some of the same doubts.
You are?
Of course. And if we're alone, that makes our complicated situation, well, even more complicated.
Yeah, it does.
All we can do is put one foot in front of the other. If we're ever going to solve this puzzle, it will only happen piece by piece.
You're right about that. More pieces would help, though. Maybe if you track down other Arcs, we might start to understand what's going on with them.
More information about anything trying to kill me is probably a good thing. Though it does mean getting close to the things trying to kill me, which is less good.
Yes, do try not to die in the process, as that would render the information less useful.
Aurea, how's it going?
Bryn, you're awake. We're making progress over here. Careful with that.
Hey, no one came back to camp, did they? Is the rest of the band still with you?
We're all here. And the leak is just about fixed.
Hey, wait, I just want to talk. That was incredible.
Hey, couldn't have done it without you.
Actually, we couldn't have done it without Sev. I didn't expect you to have such a deft hand with magical conduits.
I'm not... I mean... We just got lucky it held.
Not to distract from the victory, but something happened while you were gone. I saw something. Well, someone.
A Hearthsider?
Maybe. The figure was masked and standing at the edge of the camp. I think they were watching me. Before they disappeared.
How friendly.
If there are people still left in the Enclave, we need to find them. They can tell us what happened here.
Yes. I was just thinking we should chase down the scary masked figure that likes to watch Bryn sleep.
Sev has a point. We need to set up a watch for camp. No one has made contact with us, but clearly they're watching. Any expectation of a warm welcome is off the table.
They've been living under the veil for almost 50 years. Who knows how their version of Weaver culture has diverged from ours.
All the same, we can't just sit here. We don't know who they are or what they can do. If they do mean us harm, I need to investigate what we're dealing with.
Friendly or hostile, if there are Hearthsiders, we need to find them.
Agreed.
And the good news is, fixing the loom gate didn't just give us easier access to Glintwood. It expanded our scry's reach.
So scries are somehow connected to the Enclave's tapestry.
Every scry was built here.
This means you not only have access to the loom gate, but you can safely explore further.
Incidentally, our maps indicate that there is a village beyond the hollow in a large swathe of wetlands known as Dredge's Mire.
Perhaps we'll find our Hearthsider there. Bryn, why don't you brief with Lane before your next expedition?
Sounds good.
After that, it's time to use the loom gate.
Why didn't you guys return using it yourselves?
We needed to take a key swatch back to camp in order to connect the two. We'll make sure you have a key swatch to connect any other loom gates to this one from now on.
this may sound faintly ridiculous, but the real draw of alchemy for me is how it grants me the ability to help people.
Oh?
Yes. I enjoy my little experiments, I'll admit. I enjoy synthesizing new and wonderful compounds. But mixing an unguent for the urchin girl by the canal with the flea bites on her legs? That was, I felt, a rather more responsible use of my allowance. Of course, the house would have looked down on that. The instruction not to mix with lower classes was implicit, but clear nonetheless. I even used alchemy to disguise myself so I wouldn't be recognized. I wore my hair in a stark white for a time, if you can imagine it.
Did you look silly?
Striking is the word I would use. My patients didn't mention it, and my apothecaries knew better than to make fun of their best customer. Alchemy is the science of change, and while I am happy to explore those changes both within and without myself, well, I think my natural colour suits me fine for now.
Might change your mind. You never know.
Exactly. Here to brief.
I like to know everything I can before venturing off to a new place.
Just beyond the forested hills of Glintwood Hollow lies the wetlands known as Dredger's Mire. Much like the Hollow, the Enclave prospected many of the raw materials needed for its ambitious constructs and projects from the mire. Oh, it's no coincidence you found the Ark of the Stricken Earth near a collapsed mine. Likely, it was used for the excavation of minerals and metals before the surge. I believe the natural surroundings of the mire were also rich in resources. The Enclave even settled a small village there known as Poldervale.
Which is where I might find that masked figure that was watching me.
It's possible. Regardless, do you have any questions before you head out?
Some of the others didn't seem so sure we should be trying to track down the masked figure. What do you think?
History demands we find them. If the masked figure truly is a Hearthsider, their stories and what they've lived through in here would be invaluable to our understanding of the Enclave and of the Surge.
Sounds like I'd better find them then. Apart from the village, it sounds like this is mostly untamed lands. Any expectation that it will be more dangerous than the Hollow?
I would expect so, yes. We've made camp in a way station that's pretty far from Denevron, and the mire yet even more remote. Everything I've read says the deeper into the outskirts of the Enclave one ventures, the more wild and untamed the lands become.
You're saying my battle with the Great Ark might be looking like child's play soon?
Possibly?
What can you tell me about Poldervale? It seems like it was settled pretty far from their capital.
Indeed. Though, when you take instantaneous travel through loom gates into account, what constitutes a remote village changes. The village was likely settled to facilitate the prospecting of raw materials in the outskirts. Resources farmed here could easily be transported across the Enclave through the use of loom gates.
Thanks for the info, Lane. I think I'm ready to head out.
My pleasure. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I didn't have the biggest role to play in the loom gates repair. I'm not exactly handy with a hammer. But watching the band work gave me an idea for a new alchemical project. Its working name is a loom shard.
A loom shard?
Yes, it's a shard that could draw magic from a loom gate and bring you back to camp safely, wherever you are.
How is this different from Aurea pulling me back with the scry?
Unaided, Aurea can only summon enough magic to bring you back safely, not all the valuables you might have collected on your expedition. Because this shard draws magic from the tapestry, it can bring you back safely with all you've gathered.
Thanks, Lane.
Shouldn't we be trying to find a way out of here?
Focus on one thing at a time. That's all we can do.
I hope I'm not prying by bringing this up, but Dom and Arya told me about your last band.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it was pretty rough.
It wasn't great, that's for sure. I mean, I gave up everything I knew to become a weaver. And it only took a couple of weeks for me to realize I had chased the wrong caravan out of town. All that band did was drink and fight. I stuck around, thinking I might be able to make a difference if I became point, but Aaron chose someone else to take his place in the end.
You're in better hands now. I promise. Even though I'm sure your last few days with us have been a lot. Do you have any regrets about leaving?
I'm not one for getting lost in the past. I prefer to keep my eyes on what's in front of me. So, no regrets.
Glad to hear you're moving on. But, you know, sometimes it takes us a little while to process our experiences. If you ever do need to dwell on the past, just know I'm here to listen.
Thanks, Sola.
This one strikes a good balance. Nice to work on something a little lighter every once in a while.
Bryn, something gnaws at my mind, and I just need to get it off my chest, if I may.
Yes?
When discussing that the Hearthsider was watching you, you agreed with Sev that we should be very cautious. It will, of course, be your and Arya's call, but I just have to say, we have so much we could learn. If the Hearthsiders retain even a fragment of what the Enclave knew, they're still worth making allies of.
I hear you. And good point. It's just that we must confirm their motivations before we even think about sharing knowledge.
Sagacious. Thank you. I have said my piece and appreciate your understanding.
So, now that I'm done being frigid and unwelcoming.
Bah, you were only lukewarm.
Sure. How about an icebreaker? To get to know each other better.
Sounds fun. What have you got?
Simple. If you were a wild animal, what would you be?
Ooh, I think I'd be in a color.
Why is that?
Aggressive, but they hunt in packs with close bonds. I love adventuring, but a kick-ass team is what makes it meaningful.
Huh. I like that.
And yourself? What animal would you be?
An eastern reef crake.
A crake? Somehow I pictured fewer tentacles and destroyed ships in your wake.
You're thinking of the big ones. An eastern reef crake is pretty small and harmless. But all crakes are misunderstood. They are incredibly intelligent creatures. And they diligently protect their eggs. They actually only attack when their nest is under threat. So yeah, I'd be a crake. Happily living underwater.
Ready?
Let's do this.
First trip through the Loom Gate is a success.
That was so awesome!
Garden Pass. A fitting name for the road to the wetlands.
According to the maps, you're getting close to Dredger's Mire.
Looks like it was being packed up to ship.
It'll be exciting to work off an Enclave design firsthand.
I know you're excited to explore, but first things first. Use our key swatch with a loom gate in the mire, so that it's easy to return.
Right. I'll check the maps.
I can see the connection. We'll be able to come back whenever we'd like.
Without having to trek through all the mud.
The beauty of instantaneous travel. Keys watches are an ingenious system for connecting loom gates together.
This is Caldervale, but what happened? The village is completely frozen.
This can't be natural.
I think it's safe to say no one lives here. Where else could I look for a Hearthsider?
I can't quite remember why, but something tells me you should search for a watchtower. The maps indicate there may be some nearby.
Doubt security would be active if the village was vacated.
Just trust me on this. I've got some cross-referencing to do.
All right, Rin. You heard them.
Watchtower. Got it. Just like home. You're round a corner and a glacier's right there to greet you. Hey, Lane. Got any ideas on how I might go about retrieving a key swatch from a frozen village?
I imagine long underwear might help.
Maybe an alchemical solution?
I'm teasing, of course. Drinking a frost shroud phial would do the trick. It makes cold temperatures much easier to withstand. I have some phials already prepared for you. I had the perfect alembic for them, thanks to our recent improvements.
So, we're hunting a rogue key swatch in a frozen village. When dealing with temperature, your magic can directly counteract it.
I'm guessing we fight frost with flame?
Just so. Like building a fire on a cold night, except much faster. And the night has teeth and talons.
Unfortunately, I don't have a flame strand yet.
It's a tall order, but defeating a drake would allow us to weave a strand of its power.
Drakes and I are due for a reckoning anyway.
Spoken like a true point. Harvesting. Such an intriguing term for so critical a task.
Why do we call it that anyway?
My favorite explanation is that it implies a thoughtfulness. When we harvest a creature, we pull something out of its essence. It is fundamentally a violent act. But we harvest predators, ones that pose a threat to us. There are peaceful or merely territorial creatures that use magic, but Weaver custom is to never harvest them.
That makes sense. I like that we're selective about it.
Further, Weavers do not seek to eradicate these creatures, merely keep them in check. Slaughter them all and we not only lose access to more strands, but also risk disrupting the ecosystem. You've heard of Renland's famed attempt to cull their Akala population and the mass loss of crops due to too many deer, yes? Same thing. Even something as wild as an Ash Peak drake plays a role in the world.
Solar, any thoughts on how I might go about withstanding cold temperatures while I search for the key swatch?
With the right materials, any design for armor could give you some resistance to frost magic and cold temperatures.
What kind of materials could I bring you?
A Kala hide would do the trick for one.
There are plenty of those prowling in the outskirts. Thanks for the insight.
My darling, I suspect the way the light filters through the Enclave's veil makes you look more luminous than ever.
Stop. It'll go to my head.
Should I come back later? I didn't mean to interrupt you two.
Sorry, Bryn. Sometimes we get lost in our little world.
But since you're here, I was actually hoping to speak with both you and Solar.
Oh?
I don't know if you know this, but my wife is an extremely talented smith who was apprenticed under a variety of world-class teachers.
Well, a revolving door of mentors doesn't exactly facilitate the most stable education, especially when one of them drops dead in front of you.
Oh, details. You've made more of your varied experience than most could glean from a lifetime. Anyway, I know you always hoped to further your education with the Tarmakine Smithing School's techniques. So, I asked Lane to look into whether or not any Tarmakine smithing was ever practiced here in the Enclave.
Oh, doll. You shouldn't have. It's sweet, but there are other priorities.
What could be more pressing than helping my wife fulfill her lifelong dreams? as luck would have it, there were Tarmakine smiths here before the search.
Really?
Perhaps our daring point might be able to keep a lookout for anything those smiths might have left behind?
I mean, if it's too much trouble.
Of course. I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. I'll leave you to discuss the details.
Anything in particular I should look for?
The Tarmakine smithing techniques are exceptionally complex, and as such, pretty rare across the Maida. It might be too much to hope for anything close to a completed armor set, but prototypes or even notes pertaining to the style would be useful. I'd take anything you can find.
Got it. I'll keep an eye out.
Thanks, Bryn.